Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Scream 2. Before I start the review, I did want to say that this review will contain spoilers. I tried to not do a spoiler review, but then when I was thinking about everything that I wanted to talk about, I just can't talk about my favorite franchise without getting into spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, then please make sure to watch it and then come back because you really will want to watch Scream. Although some survived the events of the first Scream, their nightmare isn't over when two college students are murdered at a sneak preview of Stab, a movie based on the events from the first film. It's clear a copycat killer is on the loose. This is a great sequel, and the best part about this movie is that it also is self-aware of sequels, and it's something that you kind of get consistently in the Scream franchise, because in Scream 2 they talk about sequels, and Randy mentions how they're bloodier, it gets scarier, the stakes get higher.
Number one, the body count is always bigger. Number two, the death scenes are always much more elaborate. More blood, more gore. Carnage, candy. Your core audience just expects it.
And then in the third movie they talk about trilogies, and even in the fourth one they talk about horror remakes, so that's always really fun and consistent that this movie does. And this one is an amazing sequel, and it's really ironic because there's a whole class in a film theory class, and they're basically talking about how sequels aren't really good, and then there's the argument that there are some really good sequels like Terminator 2, the second Godfather, and it's just ironic that this is a sequel itself. I really like this movie, and for a long time I actually thought this was my favorite Scream movie, but there are some things that I think the first Scream does better, which I'll kind of get to, but this is still an awesome Scream movie to watch. That opening scene again, oh my god, these movies are so good with their opening shots. This one is amazing, and it's so scary and gruesome. You get introduced to these two characters, and she's clearly not in the mood to watch this movie, and it really portrays how crazy movie theaters are. And it's like so funny watching this now, you know, in the world of a pandemic, because I don't know how long it'll be until movie theaters get this full again, because when I went to see Tenet, it was so empty. I think there probably were like 3 other people in a gigantic IMAX theater, and yeah, watching this movie now is just so different. But yeah, this movie's really scary because you got our first kill, and he gets killed through a bathroom stall, and it is so disgusting. And then the second one, which I think is probably one of the most gruesome kills in this movie, and it's right off the bat at the beginning. She basically gets stabbed because she thinks her boyfriend came back, but it wasn't him because he's dead, and since everybody has a ghost face mask, she doesn't really know who anybody is, and he just stabs her. And wow, that's so scary. And then the most scary part is that nobody is paying attention because everybody is so focused on watching Stab, which is the movie they made. And it's funny because it's like a movie in a movie situation, and that scene always triggered me because nobody noticed that this poor woman was bleeding to death in front of everybody, and it was so well executed and done. And also just the fact that everybody was wearing a ghost face mask, making it even scarier because you don't know who's who, and you can't really expect anybody to be charged or anything because everybody looks exactly the same, which if this was in a real world scenario, I always wondered how they even let that slide, because the murders from the last movie were so bad and terrible. How did they just let a movie come out of this so quickly, and they just didn't ban the costume? Like, did they not think? And then we get back to Sydney, and this time she's not a high school student, she's in college, and I loved that completely because it's all on a college campus, which is supposed to be safe, but not safe. And she still kicks ass in this movie, and you can kind of tell that she's just at this point done with everything, because at the beginning she gets a prank call from somebody pretending to be Ghostface, and she just isn't even fazed by it. She's like, yep, this is my life now. And I always love Sydney. She's probably my favorite part of the Scream movies, and the acting is also really great, and she's battling what happened in the last movie, and also she's just stressed with the whole Cotton Weary situation, which I always really liked what they did with Cotton Weary in this movie, and how he was released from prison, and she's also dealing with that. And side note, but I remember when I first saw this movie, I thought that he was the Ghostface, and I also thought her boyfriend in this movie, Derek, which I actually really like his character. I think the new characters in this movie are really great, and I also thought that he could be Ghostface, but they were not Ghostface, which we will talk to in a moment. But there is so much happening in this movie, and when her friend dies, I hated that scene because I always kept thinking, can't she just keep running?
He's gone. What?
Like, run, girl. Do not wait for Sydney. Just keep on going. It was so frustrating. And also in that scene when she was about to take off the ghost face mask, but she didn't. Like, come on. Oh my god. Definitely my least favorite aspect of this movie, and something that I think they literally should not have done, was kill off Randy. I love Randy. He's my favorite character, and I always liked everything he brought because he kind of analyzed the movie for us and helped guide us to see who would be the killer. And I'm pretty sure he said it was Mickey, and
Mickey, the freaky Tarantino film student.
well, he was right. His death just was so frustrating, but I want to talk about that scene because I think that scene is actually really good, and I really like everything they did with it, with the phone call and them, Dewey and Gale trying to figure out who the phone call is, and also Randy just talking crap about Billy and saying he was stupid, and then he dies. I feel like if he maybe wouldn't have talked so badly about Billy Loomis and stuff, he would have lived, because I'm pretty sure that that kill was done by Billy's mom, who's also later revealed to be Ghostface. But I don't know, I just hated that he died so soon. It made me really sad because I did miss him in Scream 3. Scream 3 was my least favorite out of the Scream movies, and I missed him dearly in that movie. And I just think the film could have used him a little bit more, and also he's so smart. I feel like he just wouldn't die like that. Also in this movie, Dewey and Gale's relationship continues, and I really like their relationship and their bantering they have between each other, and I always like the score that plays when they're together. It's so fun, and I really like the score of this movie. Also the scene where Dewey gets stabbed really bad and she's like on the other side of the wall and it's a clear. That scene is so good, and it's so sad, and it was so well acted and also just well made and choreographed. The kills are so great in this movie, and yeah, Dewey gets hurt in like almost every single movie. Also, when I was rewatching it, I kind of realized we don't really focus on much on how Dewey is doing after his sister was just killed. Like, that never crossed my mind until I rewatched it, because I'm like, this poor dude lost his sister. They don't even focus anything on it. Like, okay, is he doing okay? There's also a really good scene where Sydney is doing a theater performance, and it's moving super fast and the camera's everywhere, and the camera moves fast but not too fast where you can't see everything, and then she's seeing Ghostface, and you don't know if it's actually Ghostface or if it's in her brain, because clearly she's not doing so well. And I just love that, because you're confused if it was actually Ghostface or if it was all in her brain. And then I really like the reveal. I was completely shocked by it. I remember thinking it was Mickey for like 10% of the movie. I never thought it was Billy Loomis's mom. And when I was rewatching it, I found so many similarities to her and Pamela from Friday the 13th, because they're both killing for their sons, and I really liked both of them. Mickey, he wanted to be like famous, a celebrity. He like wanted to get caught, and I thought they were both really great at what they did. And the great thing about this movie is that when I rewatch it, which I have many times, I can tell that the killers are them, but the first viewing I couldn't tell, so it makes it even that much better. And this movie still has the funny elements and the great charm that the first Scream does. I just really like this movie, and it's such a fun Halloween watch. I'm gonna give this movie an A. Yeah, it's just a great movie. I just have a little few nitpicks here and there where I think the first Scream is much better. Thank you guys so much for watching and just hearing me talk about Scream. I love Scream, and Scream 2 is great. I don't know if I'll review any of the more Scream movies because I have a lot of other horror movie reviews that I want to get done, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!